After Theseus returned to Athens and became king, he received an invitation to attend the wedding of the king of the Lapiths, Pirithous, to Hippodamia. Also in attendance were all the chiefs of Thessaly. As Theseus took his place amongst the chiefs at the wedding feast, he was surprised to see by the flicker of the torchlight that the Centaurs were also in attendance. Theseus frowned, and then realized it made perfect sense for the Centaurs to be present, as they were the kinsmen of Pirithous. Pirithous' father, Ixion, had once lusted after Zeus's wife Hera. To trap Ixion, Zeus had made a cloud called Nephelia resemble the likeness of Hera. Thinking that he had his chance, Ixion slept with Nephelia. The product of this adulterous affair were the monstrous Centaurs. Horrible hybrids, the Centaurs had the upper bodies of humans and the lower bodies and legs of horses. Dwelling in the mountains of Thessaly, they had some of the reason of men, but were also beastly and impulsive, slaves to their passions. As he looked at the Centaurs, who were already drunk on the wine, Theseus suddenly realized why he had been invited to the wedding. He was a prestigious guest, to be sure, but he was also a hero with a reputation for defeating hybrid monsters. Yes, the only reason why Theseus was there was in case there was any trouble with the Centaurs. With the wedding hymns being sung, the bride was led into the wedding hall by matrons and younger women. They made a beautiful sight. It was though Pirithous was struck by a thunderbolt when he saw his beautiful bride. He was not the only one to notice her beauty. The Centaurs were also struck by the beauty of Hippodamia and the other women. Heavily drunk on wine already, the Centaurs were no longer able to control their beastly impulses. They pushed over the tables as they began to gallop over to the women. Theseus jumped out of his seat and reached for his sword. Hippodamia and the other women screamed when they saw the Centaurs bounding over to them. The Centaurs let out loud neighs as they grasped and groped at the women. After they had picked up the women, the Centaurs made to take off with their freshly won captives. The Lapiths were, however, not going to give up their wives, mothers and daughters without a fight. They jumped from their seats, grabbing swords, spears and shields, and made ready to make war on the Centaurs. With Theseus and Pirithous leading the charge, the Lapiths smashed into the Centaurs. The Centaurs were forced to drop the women as they attempted to defend themselves. One Centaur fell to the ground as a spear pierced his breast. Another let out a loud scream as a sword cut off his right hand as he made to grab for one of the fleeing women. One of the Lapiths was caught by a backwards kick from a Centaur and was sent flying. His comrades dragged the stunned man to safety as more Lapiths rushed in to take his place. The bloody fight continued. Some of the Centaurs grabbed rocks and trees from outside, which they used to batter many of the Lapiths to death with. Theseus was at the fore of the fighting. Like a wedge, he cut a bloody path through the Centaurs. He grabbed a club, which he used to smash in the head of every Centaur who crossed his path. With Pirithous at his side, Theseus managed to free Hippodamia. With many of their number already dead, the Centaurs eventually turned tail and ran. After the fight was over, Pirithous clasped Theseus' arm in gratitude for saving his wife. The fight bonded the two heroes together, and a great friendship flourished. The other Greeks took note of what happened, and to this day, no Greek has ever invited a Centaur to his wedding again.